Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, October 20th. It's time to go on the record. Dr. Brenda Casilius comes to Boston with fresh eyes on a school system in transition. Can this educator from the Midwest succeed where others from the outside have failed?
Public education and public school teacher salaries as a political issue.
Your signature, Senator, is to have a plan for everything, except this.
Senator Elizabeth Warren taking heat over health care. How she's fending off her Democratic rivals now that she is the party's frontrunner for president. Let's go on the record.
From WCVB Channel 5, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill. Today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to OTR. I'm Ed Harding, along with News Center 5's political reporter Janet Wu. Great to have you with us this morning. And our guest this morning is the superintendent of Boston Schools, Dr. Brenda Casilius. She took on her present position this past July. Before that, she served as the Commissioner of Education for the state of Minnesota. She received a bachelor's degree from the University of Minnesota and a doctorate from the University of Memphis. It's great to have you with us this morning, Doctor.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for being
I'm so
part
glad
of
to be
OTR.
here.
And welcome to Boston, even though we're a few months late here.
Thank you, thank you.
So you've been in charge now for about 3 months. You come into the job with many disgruntled or confused parents about the direction of the Boston schools. So what's the biggest challenge that you feel that you have to confront first?
I think the biggest challenge is really engaging the families and making sure that we listen to what they want for their children and listen keenly to the school leaders and the staff within the walls of our schools, and then develop with the school committee a really strong strategic plan moving forward. And that's what I've been doing, going in to all of our schools, had this ambitious goal, which I am well on my way to meeting, of getting into 125 schools within 100 days. I have now been in 85 schools since the start of my tenure, and have done over 65 community-wide meetings or meetings with nonprofits.
And do you find that most of the schools are very different or that they are very similar?
The schools are very different. Boston Public Schools has autonomous schools, pilot schools, innovation schools, charter schools, horseman charter schools, and really that autonomy that schools have had has caused for schools to be very different and sometimes quite inequitable, depending on what their resources are or how decisions are made around staffing or programming at the schools.
Even old schools, old structures, old buildings, old places.
Yeah, when you talk about facilities, our schools are in pretty rough shape because they're so old. I think that contributes to it.
It should, yeah.
But I think also there's been deferred maintenance and there's a lot of work to still yet be done. I'm proud that the mayor has made a huge commitment in looking at the facilities with his Build PPS plan, his investment of $1 billion, but it is absolutely going to take more. He knows this. But as I get in all 125 schools, I see right away that some schools have wonderfully new buildings or some that have been renovated, and others are schools that just really desperately need some support right now.
Your predecessor, Dr. Tommy Chang, also arrived unknown to most of the city, came in with a great fanfare, came in here with great hope. Word on the street is that you're far more politically in tune with any community that you're in. Is this why expectations should be different for you than it was for Superintendent Chang?
Well, I think I'm a relationship builder and a bridge builder. That's been really what I've been known for my 31 years of education. And also then I think I'm a unique superintendent in that I have 8 years under my belt of working with a chief executive, with a governor, and with a legislature. And not understanding politics would mean that you could never stay in that job for 8 years. You have to work. I mean, we had full Republican control of the state house, and the governor was Democratic, and I had to navigate those political winds.
This was in the state of Minnesota.
Exactly,
yeah.
And then we had full Democratic control. Sometimes it's harder with your friends than it's not. And then we had split control. And so I've learned how to dance with many different types of communities. And I just think that when you do really authentic stakeholder engagement, you get better results.
The Boston school population is dwindling, and you talked a little bit just a few minutes ago about the inequities between the different schools, and there is right now consolidation, there are closings, there are new buildings going up under the mayor's plan. With all this change that's going on, what's your message to parents to let them know that, you know, they are headed perhaps to different schools, the inequities have to be dealt with, but yet you don't really want to change the personalities of the different schools that are doing okay. What's your message to them?
Well, I think that the message that parents have said to me is that they want high quality schools in every single neighborhood. They want us to see an investment in their schools. They want to see us have technology for their children. They want a full complement of the arts for their children. They want before and after school care. They want us to be able to have reasonable start times. You know, they want to be able to plan for their family and be able to engage and be able to have their children with disabilities have their needs met right there in the community. And so I've been listening very intently on this tour. And over the next 2 months, we're going to develop a strategic plan that I think parents are going to be proud of and that they're going to own.
Do you get a lot of questions or fears about schools in their neighborhoods closing because perhaps the structure is not savable, and also that, you know, students will have to be going to other neighborhoods to go to schools?
I think closing schools is always like a last option. It's not good for the community. It's not good for the families. It's not good for the children. They have to get displaced. And you want to make sure that you always have good processes and good listening, and everyone's really part of that process when you do that. And everybody understands very transparently why the school would be closing if that's a decision that has to be made. And usually those decisions are made because of the safety and well-being of children. And that the school building, like several of our school buildings, 50% were built before the World War II. And so I think that you know, we have this urgent crisis of like trying to fix our buildings, and that may mean that you can renovate some, but there will be some where the cost of doing so is just prohibitive.
Like, I would love to talk about testing, because testing is another major controversy. You know, as you know, if you put 5 students around a table, 3 can take tests, 2 can't. That doesn't mean the 2 that can aren't capable of being good students. So here's my question. You've called for the elimination of 10th grade MCAS exams, which brings a smile to perhaps members of the teachers union. How do you convince the state to give you this exception, to get rid of the 10th grade MCAS exam?
So I haven't called for it here in Massachusetts. So that's not my role here in Massachusetts. But I am on the record of getting rid of exit exams while commissioner in Minnesota, because I don't think that the stakes that we put on children are fair and accurate for one test. There are so many other measures by which we should be looking at whether children are college and career ready, and whether they can be successful in life. And there's really no plan B when you deny a diploma for children because of a standardized test. And so I think that standardized tests provide for us a really good picture. And so I don't call for the elimination of all standardized testing, because they give good information to the district on how well we're implementing the state standards and how well we're holding ourselves accountable and our teachers accountable for that. But I do believe that if you're going to be able to give these exit exams for children, then we had better be doing our job in delivering a quality education.
So you're not going to call for it right now, but maybe long-term down the road, you might want to try to get rid of the 10th grade MCAS exam?
Well, like I said, that's not my role to do that. I'm not a policymaker any longer. So I'll do what I can to prepare them for the test and make sure that they have everything that they need, because the test is not the best indicator for whether a child's college and career ready. And I actually want to see our children take the SAT and provide the SAT to all kids, or the ACT, so that they know what the measure is that colleges are accepting in terms of their placement and their admission.
And speaking of tests, this is the OTR pop quiz.
Uh-oh.
Well, no.
I heard about this.
See, don't worry about it. We have a new one for you, by the way. This is
that's
a new
the
one.
easy version.
This is the new one. All right, it's time for the OTR pop quiz, and we're going to start with a bit of throwback, Schoolhouse Rock. One of the first things the musical education series tackled was the multiplication table. Your question is, how was the number 9 described in the song about that particular times table? Was it, we have multiple choices on the screen, was it nifty number 9? Was it naughty number 9? Or was it nice number 9?
It was nifty number 9.
It was naughty number 9.
Aww.
Naughty because it's one of the trickier tables to master.
Oh.
Boston Latin is the nation's oldest public school and has many famous graduates. One of them went on to become one of the most influential composers in American music history. Who are we speaking of? And hint, Jets, Sharks, was it Leonard, Aaron, or John?
I say
A, B, or C?
I say Aaron.
It was A, Leonard Bernstein. He was actually born Louis
Oh.
in 1918 in Lawrence,
Oh, I didn't know that was his
Massachusetts.
first name.
I didn't know that either.
And which
interesting.
Boston Latin Academy or Latin School?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no.
School. I'm sorry. I made school. School.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're
Yes.
back on the record with Brenda Castillo. Stay with us.